One look at the cover of Whomp Em on the NES and you're reminded that some things age poorly. However, you may have never known that Whomp Em is an intentionally westernized sequel to a game with a completely different title. See, in Japan, Whomp Em is Saiyuuki World 2, Tenjokai no Majin. The original Saiyuuki World was released on the Famicom and stayed in Japan. It's based on the Master System game Wonder Boy in Monsterland, but with elements of the Chinese novel Journey to the West wove in. I've never read Journey to the West, so you'll have to make your own assessments there. But today, I'll be showing you Saiyuuki World on the Famicom and its Western sequel, Whomp Em. So, let's see what's up. We'll go in chronological order here and start with the Famicom Saiyuuki World. There's a chance you could play through this one without a translation patch, but there is a bit of text and dialogue here, and thankfully, I was able to find a translation patch for this one. No surprise here, this is a side-scrolling action platformer with 11 stages, which seems like a lot, but they are quite short. The game takes some obvious inspirations from the Sega Master System's Wonder Boy in Monsterland, as advertised, all the way down to the cute little snakes you fight right out of the gate. I wasn't able to find a translated version of the manual, so the story is a bit lost on me here, but I gather you're a hero on a quest to kill some mythic-level bad dudes in order to free the monks held captive. If you've read, or are at least familiar with the Journey to the West, then you probably already know more than I do. The rhythm of the game is a little stifled at first. You'll fight an enemy or two, but there are shops to enter right out of the gate, and you've not really had any time to earn money. Most things here are too pricey for you at first, and farming for coin is restrictive. You can hang around and wait for enemies to respawn, but they will stop dropping change for you rather quickly. Money comes in the form of satchels or these golden rings. Enemies often just drop trinkets and vials, which give you nothing but points, and who wants those? As you earn dough and visit shops, you can outfit yourself with bigger and better shields, socks and shoes that help you jump higher or run faster. You can pick up talismans or amulets that give you some hints that I didn't really find all that worth the money, as well as extra health and bonus weapons. The bonus weapons are limited, as you can only buy 5 at a time, and I didn't find them to be very useful. Most enemies, whether you walk up to them or they swoop down to you, like these bats, are pretty easy to kill if you just stab away with your sword. The bosses and mini-bosses tend to avoid the ground, and of the bonus weapons I could find, they were meant for ground enemies like this ground-hugging bowling ball or this mini-tornado. The boss enemies tend to drop down on you, requiring you to be adept at getting out of the way quickly, which is what socks and shoes are good for. After some time, the rhythm of the game reveals itself. Fight through an area and grind for money. Shop at stores to level up. Fight the occasional mini-boss for further upgrades like a new weapon, and then fight the stage boss to move on. This is also one of those games where jumping over every inch of the screen is good for revealing secrets, typically in the form of extra money, which you need more than anything in this game besides, of course, life. And yes, life, not lives. There are no checkpoints to speak of. You get one life, and if you die, you're taken back to the main menu to start the whole thing over. If you have a magic potion, your hearts will refill automatically upon death, but otherwise, you're toast. You don't start at the beginning of a level, and you don't get any continues. You can't save, there are no passwords. You either live or die. However, I read that you can press down and start at the same time on the title screen to resume where you were, and I would have tried that, but that button combination creates a save state on my EverDrive and doesn't work for me in the game. So, maybe continuing is possible for some, but either way, it's important to keep your hearts filled and to take your time. This game would be so much better with an actual continue menu or password system. So, what would the sequel have in store? In the Japanese version, the main character is Sun Wukong, a mythical figure better known as the Monkey King. Hey, now this cover makes sense, huh? When shipped out west, the main character was changed to resemble a Native American, and the general setting was changed to the Old West. The first thing you'll notice when playing Whomp Em is that the game looks and sounds quite polished for a 1991 NES game. The colors pop, the animations are nice, especially the damage animation, the environments are striking and not muddy or dull, and the levels are designed smartly. It's easy to jump straight to Mega Man when looking for a comparison, and you wouldn't be wrong for doing it. The cadence of a Mega Man game is here, and you can choose any stage in any order you want, and after you complete a stage and defeat the boss, you get their weapon. You know, Mega Man stuff. So, as I said, in Whomp Em you play as a young Native American boy. His name is Soaring Eagle, and he's seeking totems for his magic pouch, whatever that means. There are 8 total worlds, including the opening world, the 6 you can choose to play in any order, and a final world. You get infinite continues, thank goodness. Each death launches you back out to the stage select menu, so if you get stuck, you can go try somewhere else. This is so much better than the original. Soaring Eagle is armed with a basic spear, a weapon that gets the job done most of the time, kind of like Mega Man's Mega Buster. Finishing off stage bosses will earn you various other attacks and power-ups, referred to as totems in this game. One totem is a spinny spear that repels attacks, one is a fire wand, another is a cloud that you can fly on, and so on. And since you can finish the stages in any order, the use of totems is not critical for completing any one stage, but they will come in handy in certain spots throughout, and especially in the final stage. And sorry to bring Mega Man back up again, but the bosses are really reminiscent of the ones from those games. Everything from the life bar, to their attack types, to their attack patterns will feel familiar. It's well done though, so I wouldn't call this a rip-off, but like the original did with Wonder Boy and Monsterland, Jaleco really wore their inspirations proudly when designing these games. Other pickups are scattered throughout the levels, like spearheads that increase your attack strength, headdresses for defense, and magic potions for extra life. You can even increase the range of your attack by finding spear pieces that add to the length of your base weapon. And the neat thing about the potions and life system is that losing a life, so to speak, doesn't halt your progress. It's like the biggest feedback they got from the original game was that death was too brutal, so they took every step possible to ensure folks would have a less galling time in the sequel. Hey, good for you, Jaleco. Way to put the feedback I'm only assuming you received to good use. So anyway, you have to burn through all your lives before you're booted back to the main screen. You get a max of 4 lives, and if you die, you'll restart with just 1 life, and will have to earn 4 back. Another way to think about lives is to think of them as heart containers in Zelda. It's odd, but it works. Hey, there you go, a Zelda reference instead of a Mega Man reference. One thing that stands out here is the game's vibe teeters between bright, beautiful, and unthreatening to having eyeballs roll down the sky on an invisible mountain, or these eyes in the ice cave that offer up some unexpectedly creepy imagery. What's with the eyes? And a lot of the bosses are neat looking, like this bouncing ice Viking hell shrimp and this moth cocoon that eventually bursts open halfway through the fight. The music and sound design is really good too, and serves the game perfectly. Overall, Whomp Em is a really well-made game that wears its inspirations on its sleeve and does a nice job of converting those borrowed ideas into something mostly unique. It's unfortunate Jaleco felt the need to slather the game's cover and title and underlying theme with Native American stereotypes. If you can somehow get beyond that to try this game out, it is a fun and surprisingly good NES game. In all, I think both of these games are under-recognized. But if you go to play the first one, you'll need an English patch and lots of patience, unless you can get that continue input to work. As for Whomp Em, it's a solid NES game, and a challenging yet fun playthrough, and one that I recommend for anyone looking for an experience akin to Mega Man on the system. Well, that's going to do it for this one. As always, look out for floating eyeballs. And thanks for watching.